Hi, I'm Callie, and I am building a website builder. By day, I'm a site reliability engineer at HashiCorp, but at night, I like to have some fun, so I see myself as a full stack developer. I'm building an MVP just for fun and for my own use. If I have a website builder, then it's much easier for me to build my Coding with Callie website without having to redeploy over and over. All right, so what's this video about? This video is about my data lifecycle. All right, so I'm going to walk you through how I've designed my schema for my website pages versus my website sections. All right, so basically a page is what you would think, the home page, the about page, a contact page of the website. All right, a page is then made up of sections. All right, and sections could be something like content type, a form, an app, whatever. I'm going to start just with content type though for now. All right, so let's go through this. A page is going to have, yep, you guessed it, an auto-generated ID, just the unique page identifier. It's also going to have a create date, which is going to be set automatically when the new page is created. We are also going to have a publish date. So this is going to be helpful because I want to be able to have drafts and published content. I don't want all of my content to just be automatically published because I might work on something for a little while before I publish it. All right, so the publish date could be used for future scheduling, which I'm not going to do right now, or it will just be set automatically when the UI button publish page is clicked. But this is going to be not changed. As soon as the original publish date is set, we won't change it. That page is published. It might have a draft version of it being worked on, but it's always published unless it's deleted. Or maybe this does make me think that maybe I have an unpublished page button, but that'll be in a future iteration. Something to think about though. We also have a modify date. So anytime a draft is published, we will have a modified date. So the published date is going to be the original time where this page went live, and the modified date will be the last time it was edited and republished. Menu name is going to be the name of the page for the menu on the website header. So if you look at my Coding with Callie website, you can see that I have these menu buttons. These are going to be the names of the page. And then the path is going to be that path in the URL. All right. So that's going to be the path. The heading is going to be an optional page heading. So you can see that right now I don't really have any headings at the top, but if I wanted this to say jobs, I wanted to make sure that my database could handle that. So that's where that comes in. We have the path, right? We already went over that. And then we have the creator ID. So right now, I'm going to be the only creator ID. That's going to be the user ID from the user table. So it'll be me. But in the future, I want to make sure I allow for the idea that could we have other people creating content on the Coding with Callie website? Sure. Could my website builder eventually be to the point where multiple users could go on and create their own websites? Maybe. So I wanted to make sure I had that in the database from the beginning. And then I also am having this metadata JSON object here because I don't know a lot about SEO, but I know that I need to focus on SEO if I'm going to want people to be able to view my page. So the metadata about the page is going to be thinking about like any of the tags or attributes that I need to include for the page. I wanted to make sure I had a section for it, but I don't know enough to know what's going to go in it quite yet. All right, so that's pages. So again, the page is going to contain a bunch of sections. For the time being, the only type is going to be content type. All right, but we'll still have the auto-generated ID, a page ID that owns the section in order, right? So a page could have multiple sections on it. So if you look at this, right, we have 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4 section, 5 sections. All right, and so the order would allow me to move sections up and down the page and reorder them on the website. All right, and then we will have 2 different types of data, and this is where the data lifecycle fun part comes in. We'll have published data, right, which is going to be the data that is published on the page. All right, it'll be null in the beginning because if the page is not published, it won't have none of the sections will have published data. And then draft data will be the section where when we're editing a section, it'll save those edits in draft data. It'll overwrite those edits on itself. And then when the publish data button is clicked, that draft data will be copied and put into published data. All right, so I work really well with an example. So I'm going to show you the example. I have a stream of UI events looking at the data that's sent to the backend and then the changes in the database here. And that's going to help us kind of understand and check to make sure that the logic works out. But please comment if you see something that the logic isn't working out, because I want to know. So let's say on 1/1/25, Callie creates a page. The data that's going to be sent to the API is the menu name, the heading, and the path. All right, so then the data snapshot at this point is it's not going to have any sections. So it's just going to, the only table that will change is going to be page. We'll have an ID 1, a create date of 1/1, publish date null, and modified date null because there's nothing published quite yet. The menu name about, heading about Callie, path about, and creator ID is me, 51. All right. Then let's say the next day I decide to add some content to my page. So I add the content section that's a heading, text, and image, where if you look over here, it's going to look like this. It's going to be this guy here. Okay. So when I create that, it's going to just create default placeholder heading, text, and image. So it's going to be a button, and I'm going to select, yeah, I want to create a heading, text, and image section. And then it's just going to say like default heading, default text, and then it's some default placeholder image is going to be created in the database. So that's what you can see here. Our first section is created. It's linked to this about page. It's a content type section. The order is going to just automatically increment until you start changing it. So order is 1, and then the draft data that's going to be inserted is going to be heading, text, and image with the default placeholder stuff. And then published data is going to be null because we haven't published the page yet. All right, so now let's make some edits to the content. So let's say I edit the heading on my content section. So I change it to, hi, I'm Callie. The database is going, or the front end is going to send all of the section back to the back end again. The heading's the only thing that changed, so the text and image will still be that default placeholder. All right, so you can see the only thing that changed is draft data, hi, I'm Callie. All right. Then I edit the text. So it says, now let me tell you about myself in a lot of words because this is a text area. All right, so you can see that the only thing that's changed here now is that the text gets replaced. All right, but we're still in draft data. We still haven't published. All right, next I edit the image. So now I have my Callie JPEG that I'm going to upload. My back end is automatically going to upload it to S3 and return a URL to whatever my S3 bucket is now. And that will be added into draft data. On the UI, you will see all of this pop up as you edit, right? So you'll get the section with all of the default, then you'll click edit, you'll add it, and then you'll click submit, and that'll start, and then it'll go back, and now the heading will be updated, and then the text, and then the image. All right, so now we are on the last section of it where Callie publishes page 1. So if we go back to the UI, and this is why I'm excited to start coding too, because this will be much faster coding. Now I have this section here. It's all filled in on how I want. I click publish changes. All right, and so what does that do to our data? A few things. All right, the first thing that it does to the data is it's going to take the draft data and it's going to copy it into published data and then make draft data null. Then it's going to publish the data by adding a publish date to the page. All right, so now we publish page 1. Published page has 1/2. Modified date is the last time we published, 1/2. And then the draft data has been put into published data. All right, and so that means then when an end user who's not an admin loads the page, they will see this about page with this, hi, I'm Callie, let me tell you about myself and my image. And that is the kind of first part of my data lifecycle of my website builder. Let me know what you think.